What's good, everybody? This is Generation 71 coming to you with the Origins Easter egg. Now, this is going to be a long video, and this is technically only part 1 out of many other parts, so let's just go ahead and jump into it. First off, when you start in the starting room, you want to pick up this part right away. It's for the Maxis drone, and you will actually need the Maxis drone for the regular Easter egg as well as the end game, so I recommend picking it up right there. It will always spawn in the same spot. It will never ever change for his or technically it's Max's brain, which I thought it was kind of interesting. It was actually Max's brain. I never thought they'd go that gruesome. Here I'm just gonna show off a couple other places where it's technically, I think, the engine could show up right here, but not that actual engine. It looks a little bit different. Here I'll actually show you. It could also spawn. This part's always near the church. It will actually be, down in the tunnel on this walkway over here by this sign right here, and like I said right there, I think that's actually might be the, yeah, I guess it's more of the frame of the Sky Drone. And the other place it could be past the tank next to one of the signs. I don't show it off. I'll kind of show off here, right here. So if you just go straight, once you hit the first sign on the left, it'll be by there too. So just to give you, I'm just trying to be as in-depth as possible. The next one will be this propeller here. This one can be a bitch to find sometimes. Right there, as you can see, it was fairly simple because it'll be right next to another part that you're going to be needing a little bit later, well, as soon as possible. Here I'm going to show you another place it could be. It could be actually on that crate right there, and it could be one other place that actually spawned right up here by Pack-a-Punch. Right there. So it's funny how most of these parts have, usually 3 spawn locations, no more than that. Here, this isn't necessarily part of the Easter egg, but I'm just trying to show it off because it does help when doing it, is the zombie shield. It could spawn there, it could spawn on top of this bunker right here, or in one of the tunnels with one of the wheel barrels. I'll show one off later for the other part. That part will always be by generator 2. This part will always be by generator 3. And again, I'll show off a couple of parts. Like, there's another room like this near generator 2. It can be in that place as well. And then here, by generator 2, I'm just showing you where else it could be. It could be on that table right there. So, just want to make sure I'm as in-depth as possible, showing you all the spawn points. Here, I don't actually show because there's a lot more spawn points for this one. Well, more is 3, but they're a little hard to... If you just look in the footsteps where the giant robot shows up, it'll be there. Now, to actually access the area below Pack-a-Punch, you need to find that white disc. It could be right there. That's where it usually is for me. It may not always be there, but like 90% of the time it's always been there. It could also be right here where I'm shooting, right there. And it could be one more place, which actually I think was the toughest to find because you didn't think it would be right next to it, but it's legitimately right next to Pack-a-Punch. So just give me 1 second here. It could be in that wheelbarrow right there. So it's just funny how, hey, who thought it would have been right next to Pack-a-Punch? So once you actually finish with that, then you have to get this gramophone. I call it the trombone, but it could be right there or where I previously aimed. And this is how you access the area below Pack-a-Punch. You have to have the white disc and the trombone, and all the other discs to access all the other different areas. So I like the little things they've added into this map. I gotta say, it's not my favorite zombies map, but it's definitely my favorite in Black Ops 2 because this is what a lot of people were expecting when the first map was coming out with Transit. So now I'm going to show you off show off where the blue disc can spawn. The blue disc will always spawn in this bunker here. It could be where I picked it up, right there on that, or right here on this table. And while you're here, you might as well grab this other tablet that'll be part of the Easter egg a little bit later. It's one of these tablets, and you technically have to cleanse it with the souls of the damned. Pretty much, you put it in here in the holy water, and it won't give you an option. You got to make sure you actually get the thing. When looking for the staff parts, you need to actually dig them up when it's snowing. That is crucial. You have to dig up one by the church, one in the middle trenches, and one by the spawn trenches. You can't find all 3 in the same place, so just want to throw that out there. So when it's snowing, you want to make sure you can dig up as much as possible. When you're done, then you have to get one crucial part of it, which is the elemental piece. The ice elemental portal will be back in behind the church near generator 6, and you just have to make sure you have the disc and the gramophone. Then you're pretty much good. Then this magical music will play. So, and this, remember, this is all legitimately just for step 1. This is not, anyway, like multiple steps. This is technically all part of step 1. So you got to consider that. And once you do that, you just go bring it down here. Once you have all 3 staff pieces and the element, and then there you go. You have the staff built and done. So from there, this is where things get a little iffy. Technically, building all the staffs in general is part 1. I kind of like working with the staff as soon as I do. As you see here, I'm doing a puzzle. I will eventually come out with a key with this because it actually is the same. They won't always have the same symbols, like they'll bring a new one in every new game for the most part, but if you have the key for everything, then you pretty much know what to hit. If you know you're kind of in a hurry, just want to finish this, just kind of look from what I do in the video, and you can kind of deduct and problem solve, and you know, just cancel out which ones you have hit, which ones you haven't hit, and all that good stuff. But yeah, I like working with staffs. Technically, building all the staffs at once is part 1, but I kind of go build the staffs, do the riddle in the chamber in the crazy place, and do the riddle outside. This is the riddle outside of, you know, the world. So as you see there, that was by Jug. If you go straight from Jug right near Pack-a-Punch, you can hit that tombstone there. And this is legitimately puzzle. Freeze it, shoot it, that's the puzzle. This next one's actually by Power Station 2, so where the bunker where you originally found the disc. So just the place where you want to go. Then once you see that magical light and hear that magical noise, that's when you know you're pretty much almost there, finishing the ultimate staff. You have to make sure you set up all these, you know, these circular disc into the right rotation, hit the ball orb that appears, and then bam, you're pretty much good. And then that's when you actually have to go back to the crazy place, put the staff back on the pedestal, and you have to fill it up with souls, which I'm going to show off here in a second here. Yeah, this is when I had another staff. Like I said, I like going staff by staff, and usually the ice staff is the hardest one to get just because it doesn't always snow every single round. But here you see when you kill, it doesn't necessarily need to be right by the pedestal, it could be anywhere in the room, and the souls will go into it, and then pretty much there is the ultimate staff for the ice staff. Now here we're going to be starting with the electric disc right here. Will show up usually right there. There's 2 other spots it could spawn at, and then I'm going to show you kind of how I freak out here. But it could spawn on that workbench. That's kind of one of the more trying places to find it at sometimes because you're not always considering here. And here I was trying to get the zombie down. It's like, please, please make it in. Please make it in. You son of a bitch, you didn't make it in. So from here, it can actually spawn all the way down at the bottom near the wind portal. I thought it was kind of weird it actually spawned down here just because it is wind and not electricity, but, you know, whatever. Now, for the staff parts for the purple staff, you have to use the tank. You have to ride around the tank, and if you're doing it solo, I think you could do it if you have stamina, but pretty much, excuse me, you're pretty much going to ride it around twice, so you're going to end up spending 2,000 points, so not too bad if you're, you know, a pretty good point whore, but it gets pretty trying, especially if you do miss the jumps and you have to go around all over again, and that's why it's kind of easy to do it with 4 players, quote-unquote easy, and I mean, the jumps are easy, and then if one of you misses it, then the other ones can take it. But like I said, I like doing this staff by staff because once you have a staff, you could do the wind puzzle right away, you could do the ice puzzle right away, and you could do that one puzzle. What's that one puzzle called? The wind, lightning, and ice puzzle right away. The fire one is a little bit harder to do because for that puzzle, you actually need to kill zombies around the area. I think it's kind of stupid to be honest, but you know, whatever. Well, it's not stupid, it's just a little trying to actually stay there, and then just the coordinations you need to do. But as you saw, the first area was right there. It's right after the bridge, and you just kind of make it onto the steps. That was one of the first pieces here. The second piece we're going to pick up here is going to be technically in Pack-a-Punch, or below Pack-a-Punch. It's in a little cavern. You can see it when you're actually entering down, you know, into the staff room, but you can't actually access it. You have to access it from outside. So as you can see here, kind of scoping it out here, there's a little platform you could jump from on here, so just give it a quick second here and you'll pretty much see it. And yeah, you just make it there, and then there's that second staff piece right there. And the last one is everybody's favorite place. It's from, oh, look at that giant robot. It's essentially from where we were there. You just go straight to the church. It's above the church. So these ones could be, again, it could be easy, it could be hard. It just depends on who's the better parkour. It kind of makes me think I'm playing Assassin's Creed. Be like, oh god, I gotta jump off a tank to make a building. But yeah, so you could have 3 of the staffs done as soon as you built them, as far as on the pedestal. And I kind of like, you know, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. While I'm working on the fire staff, I actually, all the zombies that I'm killing to help the puzzle, it's actually feeding the souls to the other 3 staffs. So it's kind of nice how you can do that. Here now, I believe I'm going to be showing you exactly once, you know, you actually have to go pick up the elemental for the lightning staff. It'll be by stamina all the way down here. Then you got to play the magical magical trombone. Yeah, and then there's Samantha just giving you hints. Essentially, these staves are keys. They are what help you achieve what you need to do. I mean, they're really fun to play with too. I gotta admit, I think my favorite one at first was lightning, just because, I mean, I had it and I was using it. I was like, wow, this thing's amazing. The only thing I have a problem with the ultimate staff lightning wise is it has a weird hit detection. I've had zombies stand right by it and not get electrocuted, so that's a little iffy. Then my second favorite one at the time was Wind, because Wind actually set up a pretty good tornado, but then I got kind of iffy about that because then not all zombies would get sucked up right away, so that kind of made me mad. But I think my favorite one as of now upgraded is the ultimate staff. Definitely, there's no way I cannot, you know, if I could use the wind staff or the blizzard, I'm going to use the blizzard. It's just amazing. The fire staff is iffy. If you know, you can use it, congratulations. But yeah, so after you build the staff here, then this is a piano. If you hit it the way I hit it, it's essentially going to be right every single time. If you're actually a music nerd, you know that, you know, this is the treble clef, and on there, on the wall is actually a piano. So if you go from the left, it's C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Don't even worry about the top ones. The top ones are technically sharps or flats. Those are just there to kind of give you a hint to be like, oh, hey, you know, this might be a piano you want to hit it with. But like I said, if you hit it exactly how I hit it, it will never change. It will always be the same. And if you're a music nerd, then you pretty much know how to hit it already because you know how to read music. How I use it is with the spaces in between the treble clef, it spells face, so F-A-C-E. And then it pretty much an alphabet always rotates, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, then goes back to A, B, C. So it's a little hint I always remembered from music, and you know, I still play violin a little bit and guitar occasionally. And I was kind of proud of myself. I was one of the first people to figure this one out myself, so just gonna throw that out there. As well as the outside puzzle from this. The outside puzzle is a little interesting. So here at first you would think you need all the generators sparking with the knobs. You don't. You actually need to turn them all off. The first one's right out of stamina. The next two are actually the church. The bottom one is the one you want to hit first. Then you walk up all the way to the top, and then you hit the top knob. Make sure it's switched off. I believe there is one that technically you don't have to hit because it's already technically in the position it needs to be. So I mean, there could be other ones. I mean, people mess them around. The next one's over here, right out of the wind tunnel. But yeah, I'm guessing since if somebody hit that, you might need to hit it. But if everybody just leaves the knobs alone, it's fine. This next one's back at spawn. The second to last one will be back at, you know, bunker 2 or outside of generator 2, right where you picked up the stone. So just, you know, if you're getting used to the map, you kind of know where it is. And then the very last one is right by Pack-a-Punch. This one was a little tough to find just because I don't actually look near stone, where it's like, hey, you know, this is all stone, there's not supposed to be anything mechanical here. So that kind of threw me off, to be honest, but after a while I found it. And then again, you just set up all the circulars to the proper color, so proper electricity. And here for some reason I think I set it all up to blue, not sure why, but and let me see. Yeah, I was like, hey, yo, I'm an idiot, I set it all up to blue. Yeah, once you set it up all the purple, you hit it again with the lightning staff. The orb will float away. You put the lightning staff back in the crazy place to charge it up. So yeah, now that I have a little time while I show you exactly kind of how to maneuver with the circular disc here. Yeah, I want to thank you guys all for the support you've been giving us. I'm trying to give you as in-depth a tutorial as possible, showing you where all the parts can spawn, how to build them, my tips and tricks to complete this Easter egg faster. And consider again, this is just part 1. This is essentially even step 1. Partial step 2, but we're not even going to get into that until next video because this one's going to probably run around 20 minutes here. And I want to say we were one of the first people to finish it live again, so, I mean, a lot of people will say, well, that doesn't matter, but, I mean, I think it does, because considering, you know, we had an audience, and apparently a lot of people were getting DDoSing, or you know, whatever the frick that's called. I mean, I think that's somewhat of an accomplishment, first people to finish it live, and we would have legitimately probably finished it first if we hadn't had one person lag out earlier, so that's kind of, you know, disheartening right there. And here I'm just showing you after it's charged up, there you go, there's the lightning staff, and it's pretty fun to use. So from here, now we have to do the yellow disc. The yellow disc will usually spawn down there. There's other two places they could spawn, usually on these crates over here, or right by stamina up on this ledge where I shoot right there. So not too bad to find. The yellow disc is probably one of the easier ones to find. To get the staff parts though, this is the one that could be kind of hard, and this is why I suggest even in multiplayer having a zombie shield, because you could have the zombie be distracted by the zombie shield, so that way he doesn't die. Because if the robot stomps on the zombie, he will die. And if you're trying to hold the zombie at the end of the round, and then you guys have to go another round, it gets to be kind of a pain, and you're getting high in those rounds, and you need to make every round count. But yeah, there's three staff pieces in every single robot. You have to figure out which foot is lit up. The foot that's lit up is the one that you want to shoot and get stomped on. If you shoot it, it's lit up, you won't die, so don't worry about that. The one, if we're looking at the robot's position, the one on the far left is Thor, the one in the middle is Odin, and the one on the far right is Freya. So those are just, you know, old, some are mythical, some are, well, I think they're all mythical if I did my research right. So, and I just wanted to show kind of the whole process there. And again, just showing off me putting my shield down so that way I could buy myself some time. And again, it helps out a lot. We did this in multiplayer as well. Or I guess technically it's not multiplayer, just, you know, co-op. We'll call it co-op. Did it in co-op, and it does help a lot. There, I want to show off there's another cipher in there. There's another one that I don't really show off. It's behind the sign in the workshop. I think those technically were supposed to give you some clues to the Easter egg, or they may give you some clues about the story, about exactly what happened here. Here, I couldn't find footage exactly of me specifically going into the middle's robot, but you got to consider I have a lot of footage. So I'm just showing you this is a good space to kind of like scope it out, because the 2 feet will legitimately spawn next to you, or stop next to you, so you could either run towards your right here where the wind tunnel is, or to the left where the MP40 and that one chest location is. And I'll talk about the chest a little bit later. It's not, you know, important right now, but depending on what order you want to do it, you might want to do those first before you even do the stabs. That's what we did in our official run, but you know, however you want to handle that, that's up to you. And because all of this kind of needs to be done in a sequence. If you could do it all at one time, that would be amazing, but it seems like not everybody can coordinate that way, because it gets to be a pretty tough challenge, to be honest. So yeah, once you get the element for the wind staff, then you can go ahead and just grab it right here. And I gotta say the wind staff is probably my second favorite. So my favorite, and here with this puzzle here, I may make an in-depth tutorial on how to figure this out, because it actually has a lot of math that has to do with it. The way I figured it out, at least. It may have been wrong the way I figured it out, but I did it using quite a bit of math. But as far as right now, if you just set up the patterns how I'm setting up right now, you will pretty much get it every single time. So that's pretty much staring directly at the teleporter, so you'll get it every single time. Now, for the puzzle outside of in the real world, you have to hit these smoking... I'm not sure they're smoking chimneys. We'll call them smoking chimneys for now. You just have to give them one burst. Sometimes you want to make sure you kind of get a good direction at it, because I hit the first one my very first time playing this and it didn't register, so it's a little weird. And this next one's just right out of stamina, and then you'll hear the magical sound. That's how you know you finished, you know, the riddle outs in the real world. And you also got to be careful. I tried doing this right away the first time, and when I did that, I actually accidentally killed the zombie. So you want to make sure the zombie's behind you, because even if he's like a little, you know, maybe perpendicular to you on your right side, he might die. So it's a little iffy, especially when you're trying to keep a zombie, and it gets to be quite a hassle, definitely quite a hassle. Alright, so now that we finished that, now we just go back into the crazy place the pedal sled back on there, charge it up, and you have your ultimate staff all ready to go. So, and I like this one, how the wings were kind of shortened, and then how they fully extend once it's fully powered up, so it's kind of nice there. Now here I'm going to show you exactly where the fire disc can spawn. Right there, if it spawns there, you actually have to move the tank before you can grab it. There's no way you can grab it unless the tank is moved, so it becomes a little of a hassle to do it. The other place it can spawn is right there, and the last place will actually be by Generator 6. Now, the fire one is also difficult because you can't actually do anything with it until round 8 if you actually were doing the staffs. Because here, to get this first part, you actually have to do Generator 6. Then you'll see the reward chest pop up with a part of the staff. But the last piece of the staff you can't get until round 8, no matter what. It's a definite. So you'll see here, it'll pop up there every single time. It'll always be there, so just going to throw that out there. The second part here is actually you'll see a red plane or a glowing plane. If you shoot it down, then it'll drop the staff part. It'll always drop it out here outside of Pack-a-Punch. It'll always be the same place. But the next part of the staff is everybody's favorite one, and it comes with the, you know, Bioshock zombie that thinks he's god of the zombies. Apparently he can be kind of hard to kill, especially if you're only kind of working with an MP40 non-double tap. But what I like to do is work on the other staffs first and just take him out ASAP with it. I mean, with a couple shots he'll be down, and then nicely drop the zombie blonde here, and then you can get the staff part easy as that. So it's a little easier in that sense. That's why I like working on the other staffs as soon as possible, because then you can help them in situation, or it can help you in situations like that. So it may be something you want to do. Just want to throw that out there as well. So, and then here the portal for the fire element. It's hard to say fire element for some reason. I'm not sure why. It's right by spawn. It's actually by generator 3. So the generator 3 path, it's right there. And yeah, here I'm just trying to figure out. Oh yeah, I was trying to get the element. And with the element, like I said, the puzzle is a little bit more difficult because you actually have to kill zombies by this area. Here, I'll show you here in a second. Yeah, and here you see, you make sure, like, it may be varied, and you saw the soul actually go to the powering up the other staff, so 2 birds with 1 stone. But here you kind of see, I'm pretty sure they need to be on the platform where you see the lava under them, and I'm pretty sure you need to be there too. Just because it just seems that would be the best. And it's better to be safe than sorry, right? It's not that hard, especially if you have an early round. If you have, you know, speed cola to help you reload faster. Double tap might help here too. But also if you have a shield, it's not that bad. So here I just showed really quickly how they look. I mean, you'll see the fire in there. You have to fill up all 4. I've tried just shooting them, you know, and it doesn't work like that way. So you have to get the zombies there. Here, and just going to show a little bit more. It's really not that difficult. Even with 4 players, it could be a little easier, because then what we did is we had 2 people stand up by the teleporter and 1 stay in the real world, and just had 1, you know, just focus forward. So if we watched behind him, he wouldn't have to freak out, be like, oh, you know, are they coming up beside me? And they don't spawn behind you either. From where you're standing here, you could hear the completion sound there. Now, the puzzle for the fire element is actually a little bit complicated, so I just want to freeze it right here. Now, I'm just going to give you a very brief explanation about what you're looking at here. So once you actually do the fire elemental challenge inside the crazy place, you come out here to the church, and you've always seen the torches downstairs with numbers, and you obviously knew there was something to that. But then up here, the dots that, if you've noticed before, some of them are actually lit up now. So those are actually, I'm not going to go into a deep explanation of it, because I personally didn't figure it out. It was actually one of our team members that figured it out. His name is Carson. If you guys want to go check him out, you're more than welcome to. But he actually figured out it's a ternary system. So when you think of a binary system and you're thinking of computers, think of ternary as the same thing. And if I think the way he explained it is, think of it as the hollowed, so circle that's not filled in is 0, circle that is filled in is 1, and circle that, or 2 circles that are filled in above each other, that's 2. So that's a ternary system. Blah. Having some trouble speaking now. So with that, you can try to decipher it. I mean, you can also try to go to Google and try to type in, be like, oh, this is a decimal point, do that. But I'm sure you guys don't want to do all that work. I know I personally didn't want to do all that work. So I'm just telling you exactly how to do this. So the very last one on the very right will always be 4, and you're always going to hit that first. To find that downstairs, it will always be the blood-stained torch there. And starting from the left, the first set of dots is going to be 11. The second one's going to be 5. The third one's going to be 9. The fourth one's going to be 7. The fifth one's going to be 6. The sixth one's going to be 3. And that's pretty much it. So if you could just kind of decipher it, be like, okay, 4 is first. We figure out what numbers are lit up. You figure out those numbers. You hit them in order. And it's as simple as that. So. And once you finish with that, then same thing goes. So you'll hear the completion noise, you go back to Pack-a-Punch, you shoot the fire orb, and you place the pedestal back on there. So from there, that's where you officially finish not only step 1, but step 2. So 2 steps in the video, not too bad. I could have split them up, but I mean, I wanted to show you exactly where all the pieces were, and where, you know, the multiple spawns, and how to finish it. Try to do it all in one run, essentially. And real quick, I just want to show you all 4 box locations. There's one right here, right behind Jug. You'll see it right by the MP40, one that you want to fill up. The next one will actually be by Stamina up right here. Not too bad of a place. Again, they will always be in the robot's foot, so it can be kind of hard to accomplish, actually fill them up. And then the third one will actually be over here, right by Pack-a-Punch, again, and right in the middle area, so the middle Odin will come down and smash you if you're not careful. And the other one's right by the church, right over here, so... Alright guys, so I really do hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm still in the process of working on the next video here with all the steps, including with the Odin Bomb and what to do with all those essentially. So please stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoyed this in-depth tutorial on how to do the first couple of steps of the Easter egg. Leave a like, sub if you'd like, and please, tell your friends. This has been Generation 71, and we'll catch you guys later.